Hi, everybody. Hey, welcome back. It's great to be thinking about second year Let's Play Music. And it was great to see so many of you at our parent open house the other day. It just reminded me of how much I enjoy you and I enjoy your children. So thank you for tuning into this PowerPoint. And just click on the audio icon for each slide and you'll hear the explanation for each slide. And I think it will just help you to understand what our goals are for this year and how to best help and support your child in the daily practice effort. Thank you. Okay, so to get us started, you've gotten your materials and put them in your bag that we used last year. And you should have your piano or keyboard ready to go. I just want to remind you how important it is that you have your piano tuned if it hasn't been tuned within the last year. And of course the reason for this is because we are teaching these kids how to sing with good pitch and also how to develop perfect pitch or good relative pitch. So if your dough is not home, it needs to get home. It needs to come home quick. So please have your piano tuned, and if you need the name of a tuner, just text me and I'll get that right to you. This PowerPoint presentation contains much of the same information that is in your green homework booklet in the parent section at the beginning of the book. There are a couple ways you can do this. You can either just go through the entire PowerPoint, listening to my explanations, and then go back and read through the homework section, or the parent section, or you can open it up as you go through the PowerPoint and you can see the page numbers that coincide with each slide. So this is the start of our musical adventures at the keyboard. And as we have worked on developing the voice, the next best step is to discover the piano, because the piano is the best music teacher that there is. The reason for this is because there's step-by-step arrangement of the keys. It allows, so when we look at the keyboard, we see what we hear. As we move up, we hear up. As we move down, we hear down. That's not true for all instruments. The other thing is that when we play the piano, we are creating harmony, melody, and rhythm all at the same time. And again, that's something that's very specific to the piano, to be able to actually create harmonies and melodies together, and not just single lines of music. So it really is the ideal music teacher. Also, as we go along, wherever your child is in terms of concepts and skills, just remember, we are creating a complete musician. So as you'll see on the next slide, I want to remind you that this journey is a journey of small successes that lead to a destination. And every child is kind of on their own time frame for that. And we just go along this journey with patience, with joy, and with lots of fun. So as we learn how to play the piano this year, we're going to continue to build and enhance our knowledge and skills in ear training, melodic and harmonic training, rhythmic literacy, and classical music listening. So of course this course is to develop a complete musician. It's much, much more than just a piano class. So let's take a look at some of the skills that we've learned so far. So many concepts were learned in the first year. It's amazing to think about how these students learned to internalize harmony and hear chord changes, and how to recognize rhythms and rhythm patterns, and how to understand the sounds up and down, and how their bells are laid out, and they learned steps and skips and repeats, basic staff reading. They have learned how to play the auto harp and accompany themselves while they sing, and they are learning good vocal development. This will all lead to an amazing breakthrough with reading notes on the staff. So these students will be reading everything that they play on their keyboards. That means instead of reading chord charts with colors and triangles, they will be seeing the notes on the staff as they play chords. getting your child set up at the piano successfully will help determine how much success they have at the piano. I can't emphasize this enough. If we can start with good habits, those good habits will stick through their piano study. And if not, then I spend a lot of time, or another teacher spends a lot of time trying to fix habits. I'm a big believer in setting up habits right from the beginning. So if you will take some time to look around your house and find some books or stools and things like this, what we'll probably need for most of these children is some books to sit on the bench, and then something that they can rest their feet on. Dangling feet leads to wiggles throughout the body. Sitting too low leads to fingers that collapse that are not curved. So we need them to be high enough that when their arms are to the keys, as you can see in the picture here, the arm is parallel to the floor. So I can also give you some resources. There are some very inexpensive bench pads that you can buy, and I look on KSL almost daily to look for piano footstools that are inexpensive that people have outgrown. So I can help you with that too. If you need help, just contact me. After you have gone through this process of seating your child properly at the bench, will you please take a picture and send it to me? Thank you. One of the first things we'll do in class on the first day is we're going to discover the arrangement of the black keys on the piano. The groups of 2 and the groups of 3, and we're going to call these our candy bars or our Kit Kat keyboard, because they look like Kit Kats in a certain sort of way. And another thing that we'll do right off is to teach the bubble hand position. And we will use, as pictured here, these bubbles in class, these round plastic balls, and the children will practice shaping their fingers around these bubbles, and we'll take that shape to the keyboard. And again, we're going to try to develop good technical habits from the start. This slide shows how we are going to transfer our knowledge of chord reading onto the staff. We will still call the red chord, and we'll start by putting stickers on the keyboards. Red stickers for the red chord and blue stickers outlining the blue chord, so that these children will learn to feel and know where to put their fingers. And then, as you'll see, they will read the chords on the notes on the staff, and we'll start putting it all together, the feel and the look and the sound of our chords. During the Green Turtle Shell semester, the students will start learning chords with their right hand first. And you can see here on Jingle Bells, this is an example of what the music looks like. And then in Yellow semester, when we get to Yellow Arrows after Christmas, then the students will learn how to play chords with their left hand, as well as melodies with their right hand. And if you can look at the music there, they are playing real piano music at this point, and it's really exciting. One of the things that I really love the best about this program is the way parents are involved. And as a second-year parent, you will come to class every month, once a month, and then again on the very last class of the semester, week 15. So technically you'll come 5 times during this first semester. A couple of things to keep in mind as you're helping your child in class. First of all, just enjoy being with your child. I think the more smiles that they see from you, the more that they will feel like they can be successful and that they can try, even when they're doing something that they've never done before. As you're in class, just really observe how we are practicing, and then you can take those practice tips and practice strategies home to help your child at home. Participate in everything that we do, whether we're sitting at the keyboards or whether we're up and around singing and dancing. And the more that you learn in class, the more that you'll be able to help at home. And I hope that you'll learn right along with your child. And I'll give you opportunities in class to actually practice what we're doing right along with your child. One thing to keep in mind is, as your child is trying to place his or her fingers on the keyboard, and at first it can be a slow process sometimes. Please remember not to touch their fingers to give them a hint, but rather we're going to use this method called the player piano method. And that would mean if you want to give them a little bit of support as to finding where to put their fingers, you can actually depress the key that they are supposed to find. And that's going to be a better way to help them to not break the eye-hand coordination process, but to just help them to feel a little bit better where to place their keys. Another thing you can do that's so helpful is as we're playing a piece, you can follow with your finger. Just point along where the child's eyes should be tracking. This is an important skill in music that children can, their eyes tracking and their hands moving at the same time. So the more you can help point, the better, especially because there's just one of me and there will be 6 kids in a class. Also, just feel free to ask questions in class. I want you to understand what we're doing, and you can always contact me after class too with any questions you have. As we take the step from first year Let's Play Music into second year Let's Play Music, we also need to be ready to take the step from practicing maybe once a week and doing our homework to practicing every day, 5 days a week. This daily practice is the key to your child's success as we continue to develop them as a complete musician and as we are learning these new skills and concepts on the keyboard. So, first tip is, number 1, have everything you need at the piano all the time, ready to go. You've got the workbooks, the homework book and the music book. You've got crayons and pencil. You've got your metronome, your CD player, and you'll have your bubble, and also your seating equipment. Then when it's time to practice, your attitude sets the tone. Stay positive and encouraging. And then also just remember it's best if you can determine a time of day that works well for you to practice, and try to be consistent about doing it at the same time. And you can use the practice plan in the back of your book to talk about that and set up a plan. There's no set time for how long to practice. It might be a couple of minutes. It might turn into 5 or 10 minutes, and that's great. Just practice what's on the weekly practice list. Also, I will be sharing with you different practice techniques and ideas. I think it's fun to make games out of everything that we do in these first few years. This should be a fun experience. And sometimes if your child isn't feeling really enthusiastic about practicing, you can just have them watch you practice, and they can just be an observer at times during that practice session. If you take turns, that's a really effective way to still expose them to what it is we're learning, but to just let them do it in a fun way that they don't feel frustrated or forced. Basically, parents, I have 3 jobs for you this year. And the first 2 jobs I've already talked about, and that is coming to class on the parent days, and the second job being to practice with your child. The third job is to please read my weekly emails. I will put anything and everything important in these weekly emails. And I always appreciate hearing back from you if you have questions or even comments. This page 10 in your homework booklet will be your go-to when you need some ideas. Your child doesn't want to practice and you just need some helps. So read through this and let it help you. I like on page 11 some of the answers that you can give to your child if they say, I can't do this. And you can say, well, you might not be able to do it yet, but if you let me help you, I think we can do it together. If your child says, it's too hard, then you can acknowledge by saying, yes, it is hard. I think children like to be acknowledged. Their feelings need to be acknowledged. And then you can respond by saying, would you like to be able to play it? How can we get better at it? And let me help you. Let's just go slowly. Things like that. And just to remind them that the hard things become easy when they try and they work